The following may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Trinidad artist Chucky Blanco erased by cops in Laventille. The system is failing the youths of Laventille. This was the cry from a woman yesterday as she warned that residents are fed up with being targeted by the police and advocated for greater opportunities and a wider acceptance of residents who live in Laventille. Her call came hours after the death of local entertainer Jaheim Joseph, who was erased during a police-involved shooting on Saturday night. Joseph, 19, of Mango Alley, Laventille, was reportedly shot by officers of the Interagency Task Force IATF around 7 p.m. An up-and-coming artist with several local hits such as Long Live B-Man, War, KRR, and Nah Play. Joseph, who is a former Queen's Royal College graduate, went by the moniker Chucky Blanco in the entertainment industry. Angry residents yesterday burned debris and blocked the roadway in the community as they protested the demise of someone they said was an ambitious young man and a mentor for many in the area. IATF officers claim they were conducting operations at Mango Alley on Saturday when they came across a group of men liming in a track. It is alleged that one of the men pointed a gun at the officers, who opened fire on him, which was in keeping with the T&T Police Services TTPS use of force policy. After the group scattered, Joseph was found with several gunshots about the body. The officers chased after the other men and stormed a nearby house where a child's birthday party was in progress, with their guns drawn, frightening children and adults alike. Although Joseph was later taken to the Port of Spain General Hospital, he was pronounced dead on arrival. Officers reportedly recovered 2 firearms at the scene. However, this claim was yesterday rubbished by angry men and women in the community. One man who requested anonymity said, "Chucky never had a criminal record. He was not known to the police. He was one of the good ones." Insisting this was a police killing that will not be left unavenged, another man warned, "Police want to pick up fire rage for people." Claiming there was a tension now in the area, a third person said, "This is murder." An elderly woman also vented her frustration as she cried, "The system is failing our youths, especially those from Laventille. He was a local artist who was now coming up in society, and our system is erasing them. This is real unfair. These children are growing up in a society where they are going to rebel." In a 2019 YouTube post, Joseph shared his dream of becoming the biggest dancehall artist to emerge from T&T. He wrote, "On August 23, 2019, I made a decision to become the biggest dancehall artist out of Trinidad and Tobago. I made a beat and recorded a song using only a laptop and a Samsung headset as my microphone. The track was released the following day and became an instant hit." A follower of the Islamic faith up to the time of his death, Joseph's brother, who refused to state his name, said, "He was a real intelligent young man. He was a leader for younger boys in the neighborhood, and it is a big loss to everyone." Insisting that a lot of people did not truly know the extent of Joseph's ambition and education, the grieving man went on, "He was not known to the police. He was a driven young man, and if you see him outside, it was because he was looking for work and moving to advance his music career." Questioned about reports that he had pulled a gun on officers, Joseph's brother denied this, saying, "He was an inside person, and if he was outside in the view of eyes, it would have been because of the younger ones, who he was always talking with them, teaching them to ride bike or play football." Joseph's girlfriend, who also declined to be named, referred to the sudden death as shocking and unexpected because he just wasn't about that life. Holding back tears, she added, "It hurts to get a call home when you in your bed sleeping that your boyfriend's passed away." Noting that Joseph had begun singing for fun, she said she had always been supportive of his dreams to start a business, build his own home, and she smiled as she said he always wanted 10 children. Police Service Commission member Roger Kawalsingh hands in letter of resignation. The Police Service Commission will be on its last leg today, literally. The second to last remaining PSC member, Roger Kawalsingh, is resigning after the commission collapsed last Saturday with the resignation of a second member, Dr. Suzanne Craig James. After Kawalsingh's resignation letter reaches the president this morning, it leaves embattled PSC chairman Bliss C. Prasad alone in the PSC, which effectively collapsed on Saturday with Craig James's resignation, on the heels of Courtney McNeish's departure last Tuesday. C. Prasad yesterday did not respond to Guardian media queries on whether she too will resign. Kawalsingh, McNeish, and Craig James all disagreed with C. Prasad's handling of the issues that arose after the PSC began selection of a police commissioner in June. The overall issue has been mirrored in a firestorm of problems, including legal matters and criticism, leaving the PSC's credibility shot. The latest issue was the PSC rescinding its letter for acting police commissioner Gary Griffith to take administrative leave. Griffith remains on leave until the investigation, which the PSC hired retired Justice Stanley John to conduct, is completed. John is doing fact-finding on T&T Police Service issues, including on the issuing of firearms users license, FULs. But the commissioner's key concern had been absence of legal advice to guide them on the decision for Griffith to be sent on leave and whether PSC had the power to act on this, considering the Constitution's provisions, and if PSC did, how sending him on leave should be done. Kawalsingh's resignation letter, more than 2 pages long, details to the president his reasons for resigning. Kawalsingh, who'd documented his concerns on the COP issues to C. Prasad in many instances, was known to have been very upset with the situation. Emails he'd sent to C. Prasad demonstrating the conflict within the commission were leaked last week. Once there's no PSC, experts told Guardian Media that another will have to be appointed, and John's probe may also collapse. Exactly when all new PSC materializes is a question that remains unanswered for now. Saturday's announcement from President's House of Craig James' resignation noted the PSC's lack of quorum, adding, "There is a notification which is with Parliament at this time, and the Office of the President will make every effort to fill the 2 recent vacancies at the soonest." Yesterday, the Office of the President also responded to the UNC's claim that there was no notification with Parliament at this time for a new PSC commissioner and no consultation had taken place with the opposition leader. The President's office, standing by its position, reiterated that a notification is with Parliament at this time. Her Excellency issued a notification dated June 10, 2020, in respect of Mr. Vincel Edwards as a nominee for member of the PSC in compliance with 122 Section 4. It was sent to Parliament by the Secretary to the President on the same day, June 10, 2020, for debate by the House of Representatives. Moreover, the notification was sent to Parliament only after consultation by letter of June 5, 2020, with the Prime Minister and the Leader of Opposition as stipulated by the Constitution. It is our understanding that the leader of government business having given a directive during the last sitting of Parliament that the notification be placed on the order paper for the next sitting, the notification is currently with the Clerk of the House for placing on the order paper. There had been newspaper reports on Edwards' nomination in 2020. Edwards is a retired deputy COP and had investigated the day of total policing, which shut down TNT in March 2015 during his tenure. Edwards, a white-collar crime specialist, is the group legal and technical advisor at private security firm ProTech Intelligence Service. On when the notification might be debated, government officials confirmed yesterday at this time no House of Representatives sitting planned to do so. The next sitting is expected to be October 4, when the 2022 budget will be presented. That's followed by 3 weeks of debate in the upper and lower houses and finance committee examinations. Normal parliamentary business isn't done in that period. Police Service Commission Chairman Bliss C. Prasad and member Roger Kawalsingh should have resigned since yesterday. UNC MP Saddam Hossein said yesterday. Detailing the PSC's blunders in the handling of the Gary Griffith matter, Hossein also demanded the resignation of Attorney General Faris al-Rawi, whom he blamed for formulating Legal Notice 183 on the COP appointment. Hossein also raised queries he insisted the president must answer. Hossein cited C. Prasad's high-handedness based on reports of the commissioner's letters on her refusal to conform with the majority agreement of the PSC. Bliss blistered the process. There's been a battery of blunders. TNT has lost confidence in the PSC if so many blunders have been made in COP selection processes, Hossein said. Hossein said it was also a conflict of interest for C. Prasad to have headed PSC when she was on the Chuguamas Development Authority's board appointed by government. She was a political appointee enjoying the Prime Minister's confidence, but a political appointee cannot head an independent constitution. Hossein said Kawalsingh is also an attorney for Vincent Nelson, who has criminal charges in court on alleged legal fees paid by the Attorney General's office. Hossein claimed Kawalsingh received multi-million briefs from the AG's office under al-Rawi. He only broke his silence when there was public outrage. When TNT is under a state of emergency and the COP has far-reaching powers, we have 2 acting COPs and can't appoint a commissioner. PSC has destroyed all credibility in the processes to appoint a COP, Hossein said. Attorney General Faris al-Rawi and UNC MP Saddam Hossein at odds over legal notice on acting COP. United National Congress MP Saddam Hossein wants Attorney General Faris al-Rawi's resignation concerning Legal Notice 185 on the appointment of a police commissioner. But al-Rawi says Hossein's colleagues who have a court matter concerning the acting appointment of Gary Griffith haven't challenged the notice. In defending himself, al-Rawi noted the interpretation claimed by Anand Ramlogan SC, Jayanti Lachmedial, and others in Ravi Balgobin Maharaj's matter on the acting appointment, which continues in court today. Both the AG and Hossein sparred yesterday about Legal Notice 183, 2021, as a fallout from the Police Services Commission fiasco involving Griffith continued to be played out in public domain. Hossein blamed al-Rawi for the firestorm of issues around the PSC concerning the COP selection. He said Al-Rawi twice changed the law for the appointment of a COP. The UNC's Wade Mark, Hossein said, had called for an annulment of the order, but a vote was taken and government voted for it, as did independent Senator Sharice Seepersad, the sister of PSC Chairman Bliss Seepersad. Hossein said, "The Prime Minister must demand Al-Rawi's resignation or fire him, as he's caused TNT to be plunged into this unprecedented constitutional crisis. This bad law casts doubt on all law the AGs presented." On queries that the lawyers in Maharaj's case hadn't complained about the order, but of the process in taking the names to Parliament on the acting COP post, Hossein said Justice Ralston Nelson SC had given a legal opinion on the issue, and the Prime Minister had agreed with this and found the AG wrong. But Al-Rawi yesterday said Maharaj's attorneys asked the court to interpret the Constitution to say if the acting appointment is improper, as the list for acting nominees didn't come to Parliament. They haven't challenged Legal Notice 1A3. They actually rely on this notice. So it's grossly inconsistent for young Saddam, who's Miss Luch Medial's colleague, to reinvent the case. They're at odds with each other, Al-Rawi said. The current claim isn't the one that arose in 2015, when others sought to deem the legal notice at that time unconstitutional and illegal. In Maharaj's matter now, attorneys rely on the constitutionality of the notice. I can say the issue of constitutionality of parts of the notice is an issue and will be considered by the courts. Al-Rawi added, "I, as defendant, represent the office of the President in addition to giving government submission. I've been directed in writing by the President's office to put certain issues before the court, which I'm obligated to. Government desires a quick resolution of the claim. I stand by the Prime Minister and government and will address the multiple views before the courts." He added that the President had directed him to ask the court whether the 2009 acting appointment notice, which is still in effect, where a deputy police commissioner acts as COP, is ultra-vires the Constitution. Al-Rawi noted the President's letter disagreeing with the proposals by attorney Dave Prasad and the PSC's letter where they received advice from Russell Martineau SC, who said the process was correct. When the Prime Minister said he has confidence in the judiciary, I too have confidence in the judiciary. It will interpret what's in issue, the AG said. He said Legal Notice 1A3 went through a process. It was drafted by Douglas Mendez SC. A brief was done on that matter where all advice was considered. Cabinet considered the legal notice and it was taken to Parliament. Nowhere in the Parliament did the opposition challenge the constitutionality of this order in the manner Hossein's doing now, Al-Rawi said. I have not and never will advise the PSC. Nobody in government would. This isn't the first time the opposition has called for my resignation, but the matter is to be dealt with on the facts. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar calls for the resignation of Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar is calling for the resignation of Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi following the collapse of the Police Service Commission. She also called on the President's office to explain. Persad-Bissessar's call comes after the Police Service Commissioner, Dr. Suzanne Craig James, resigned, making the body inchoate. The authors of this shameful debacle, which plunged the police service and the nation into a constitutional crisis, must be held to account, she said in a media release yesterday. Persad-Bissessar said Police Service Chairman Bliss Seepersad and Commissioner Roger Kawalsingh must have some shame and follow their honorable colleagues' actions and resign immediately. The office of the president must explain why it failed and or neglected and or omitted to follow the Constitution and forward a notification to the Parliament of the merit list of nominees for the post of acting police commissioner, she said. Prasad Bisesar also said it was alarming that the office of the president could say that Parliament was appraised. This is categorically not true. There is no notification with Parliament, she said. In any event, the law provides that before any notification is sent to Parliament, Her Excellency is obligated under law to first consult with the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. To date, no such consultation has taken place with me as Leader of the Opposition. Her Excellency appears to be once again falling into legal error, Prasad Bisesar said. But her ire seemed more directed to Al-Rawi, who she claimed birthed the entire situation with his incompetent and dangerous legislative work and advice. This is the second time the Attorney General has interfered and tinkered with the process of choosing a COP. His first attempt was struck down as being unconstitutional by the court, after a team of lawyers, including myself, challenged it in the court, she said. This second attempt has now resulted in the disastrous collapse of the entire police service and questions about the role of the office of the president. Even the Prime Minister now accepts the advice of retired Judge Nelson that the Attorney General's order was bad. It must be noted that the Attorney General has consistently defended the actions of the police service, the same actions which have now led to the police service's demise, she said. Prasad Bisesar said Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley accepted that the AG acted incompetently over this serious matter. No one in Trinidad and Tobago can now have confidence in Faris Al-Rawi to continue to hold his post, she said. I remind the Prime Minister, Attorney General Al-Rawi, Chairman Bliss C. Prasad, Roger Kawalsingh, and Her Excellency Paula May Weeks that no one is above the law or above accountability. These individuals must answer to the people of Trinidad and Tobago for the crisis they've created, Prasad Bisesar said.